Welcome everyone. Before we dive in, be sure to drop your thoughts, feelings, and lessons in the comments below. Like the video and subscribe, so you never miss stories like this. Let's get into it. The cruelest thing my wife did was mock my body at our anniversary dinner like my pain was part of the entertainment, then call it motivation, while she texted under the table like I wasn't even there. Here's how it happened. We were sitting in a candlelit restaurant in Hyde Park, Chicago, and I could feel the tightness of my shirt before I even opened the menu. I told myself it was fine. People gain weight. Life gets heavy. Grief and stress leave marks. But the way she smiled when she said it, like she was proud of how sharp she could cut, made it feel less like a comment and more like a sentence. I'm a black man in my mid-30s, the kind who used to run 5 miles before work and still had energy to dance in the kitchen afterward. Back then, my wife, Brianna, would grab my face with both hands and say, "You're trouble," like it was flirting and a compliment at the same time. We met in Chicago, built a life in Chicago, and for a while it felt like we had the kind of love that could survive a bad week, a bad month, even a bad year. I didn't realize some people only love you when your life looks good on them. My weight didn't come from laziness. It came from overtime, stress, and a slow sadness that sat on my chest like a brick. My mom passed. My jaw got messy, and I started eating late, drive-through dinners in my car, quiet snacking while watching reruns, pretending I was fine. Brianna watched it happen like a person watching the weather. No umbrella, no warning, just a judgmental little shrug. "You're not depressed," she'd say. "You're comfortable." And somehow that word, comfortable, became an insult in her mouth. Still, I tried. I bought a new blazer for our anniversary, practiced my smile in the bathroom mirror, and even joked with myself. It's just a few pounds, not a personality change. I was determined to make the night romantic because I remembered when romance was easy between us. I even planned a small surprise, a card with an inside joke from our first date, the one where I spilled soda on my own shoes and tried to play it off like it was fashion. Brianna used to laugh, so hard she'd snored. I missed that version of her. The restaurant was the kind of place where the servers glide instead of walk, and the water glasses never reach half empty. Brianna showed up in a fitted dress like she was attending an event, not celebrating a marriage. She kissed my cheek and whispered, "Don't do that clingy stuff tonight," before we even sat down. I laughed awkwardly, thinking she was teasing. "To keep it light," I said. "You know I'm affectionate. It's part of my charm." She replied, dead serious, "No, it's part of your insecurity." That was the first stab. I swallowed it with a sip of water. We ordered appetizers, and I tried to steer things toward the sweet memories. "Remember our first apartment?" I asked. "The one with the crooked radiator that sounded like it was arguing?" She smirked. "You mean the apartment we had because you were too scared to take risks?" I blinked, stunned, and then forced a chuckle. "Okay, all right, I get it. Today is roast your husband day." She didn't laugh. She just stared at me like she was deciding how much respect I deserved. The romantic energy I brought felt like I was pouring water into a bucket with a hole. When the waiter came back, I tried again. "We'll have the salmon," I said, then glanced at Brianna. "Unless you want to pick for us like you always do, boss lady." I meant it as playful, a callback to how she used to take charge and then kiss me afterward like I was her favorite mistake. She rolled her eyes. "I'm not your boss. I'm just tired of dragging you." The waiter froze for half a second, then smiled too hard and walked away. I wanted to vanish under the tablecloth. Instead, I sat there burning. Brianna looked me up and down like my body was a disappointment she'd been waiting to announce. Then she said it, loud enough for the nearby table to hear. "You really let yourself go." She tilted her head like she was offering helpful feedback. "You don't even look like the man I married." I felt my throat tighten. The room got louder and quieter at the same time, like my brain couldn't pick a sound. I tried to make a joke. "It's just extra love storage." She didn't smile. "It's extra excuses," she said. After that, she kept dropping little comments like coins in a jar, collecting my humiliation. "Maybe you should stop ordering bread. That shirt is fighting for its life." "I can't believe you used to be fine." Every time I flinched, she got calmer, like my discomfort fed her confidence. She even flirted with the waiter, complimenting his smile and asking what time he got off, right in front of me. I forced a laugh and said, "Bree, you're wild." She leaned close and whispered, "Don't embarrass me. You're already doing enough." I didn't clap back. I didn't flip the table. I didn't make a scene. Not because I was weak, because I'd learned Brianna was good at fights. She could turn any argument into a courtroom where she was the judge and I was the defendant. I used to fall for it, but this time I was tired, and I was prepared. I'd been waiting for weeks, quietly, for one message. One notification that would tell me the paperwork I filed had finally hit the right desk. I wasn't trying to destroy her life. I was trying to get mine back. The funny part is, earlier that same day, I tried to be romantic and silly. I'd practiced a little anniversary speech in my car, the kind where you say sweet things and make the other person smile. I even planned to end it with, "I'd still choose you," like a movie line. But while I was rehearsing, I looked at myself in the mirror and accidentally said it like a dramatic actor. "Brianna, I'd still choose you," and I scared myself so bad I jerked the steering wheel and honked at a parked car. An old man on the sidewalk jumped, then glared at me like I owed him rent. I laughed alone, thinking, we'll laugh about this later. We didn't. Back at the table, Brianna's phone sat beside her plate like it was more important than the marriage. She kept checking it, smiling to herself, then frowning when nothing came through. I had my own phone in my pocket, silent but heavy. I'd already spoken to a lawyer in Oak Park, signed the documents, and filed what needed to be filed. I didn't do it to win. I did it because I'd found out she was moving money around, keeping me in the dark, and speaking about me like I was a burden she was managing. The cruelty wasn't new, it just finally had proof. Then it happened. Her phone lit up, bright against the white tablecloth. Brianna's eyes dropped fast, like she was trained to obey notifications. The message preview showed the name, Mason, building manager. Her face tightened. She tapped it, then froze like her body had forgotten how to breathe. The text was simple and final. Due to a court order, the locks had been rekeyed, her access code deactivated, and there was a pickup window for her things with security present. No exclamation points. No anger. Just official consequences. She looked up at me like she wanted to set me on fire with her eyes. "You did this!" she hissed, gripping the phone like it was a weapon. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't give a speech. I reached into my jacket and slid a plain manila envelope across the table. Inside were copies of a separation filing, the temporary order, and the financial records I'd gathered quietly, bank statements, emails, screenshots. She flipped through them fast, jaw clenched. No apology came. No remorse. Only rage, like she couldn't believe I'd stopped being her punching bag. "So this is your big move," she sneered. "You think papers make you a man again?" Her words were sharp, and I felt the old instinct to defend myself rise up, but I crushed it. I let a slow breath out, the kind I learned in therapy videos I watched at 2 a.m. I said calmly, "I think peace makes me a man." She scoffed. "Peace!" She laughed without joy. "You're going to be lonely." I almost laughed, because loneliness had been living next to me for years, wearing my wife's face. The waiter arrived at the worst time, smiling nervously with our entrees. The tension was so thick you could have sliced it with a steak knife. Trying to lighten it, the waiter joked, "Anniversary vibes?" I forced a polite smile and said, "More like plot twist vibes." The waiter blinked, then chuckled like he didn't know if it was safe. Brianna snapped, "Just put the plates down." As he walked away, he muttered, "Phew," under his breath, quiet but clear. I let out a small, surprised laugh at that, the kind that slips out when your body needs relief. Brianna stared like even my laughter offended her. I stood up, left cash for my portion, and slid my anniversary card into my pocket instead of giving it to her. It felt like returning a gift to the shelf after realizing the person didn't deserve it. Brianna's eyes followed me, cold and hateful, and she said, "You're pathetic." I paused long enough to look at her one last time. "No," I said softly. "I was loyal. There's a difference." Then I walked out into the Chicago night, my chest tight, my hands trembling, but my feet steady, like my body finally believed I was allowed to leave. Over the next week, karma didn't show up like fireworks. It showed up like locked doors, canceled access, and silence where she expected control. Her card stopped working on shared accounts. The least she used my name for without permission got corrected. The friend she'd been texting, the one she thought would catch her if she fell, was suddenly unavailable when responsibility showed up. Brianna didn't melt into regret. She just got meaner, sending nasty messages, blaming me for consequences she earned. I didn't respond. I forwarded everything to my lawyer and kept moving. My comeback wasn't public. I didn't post anything. I didn't tell mutual friends. I didn't chase validation. I took my pain to quiet places. I started walking near Lake Michigan in the evenings, headphones in, letting the cold air slap my cheeks awake. I went to a doctor and stopped pretending I was fine. I started cooking again, real food, not late-night comfort. One Saturday, I danced in my kitchen alone to an old song Brianna used to love, and I laughed when I almost slipped on a dish towel. It wasn't glamorous. It was healing, private and real. The moral lesson is this: love isn't proven by how much disrespect you can tolerate, and staying isn't always strength. Sometimes it's fear dressed up as loyalty. If someone only values you when you look perfect, they don't love you, they love what you provide. Brianna tried to shame me into shrinking, but all she did was show me I'd been carrying the wrong weight. I didn't glow up to prove her wrong. I chose peace to prove myself right. And when I finally looked in the mirror, I realized the biggest thing I'd lost wasn't pounds. It was her control. See you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.